Connecting Identities Presentation by Monique Smith. Introduction. Social identity is formed from groups that individuals automatically form to feel a sense of belonging. In most situations, society typically will assign us to our social norms groups based off factors that we have chosen to adopt to help us form who we are. Some factors may include religion, ethnicity, where we were born, or the color of our skin. Attitude, social norms, and perceived behavioral control. Social identity is defined as the individual's awareness or knowledge that he or she belongs to certain social groups, together with some emotional and value significance to him or her of this group member. Individuals tend to want to categorize themselves into groups that best fit their social identity but also confirms their norms within the group. Intention directly determines behavior and can provide the most accurate predictions under certain control conditions. Research shows that a strong sense of group identity increases an individual's intention or behavior. Let us define ourselves. A Giddens coined the phrase identity project, noting that in late modernity, the self has to be reflectively made in order to be able to respond to the anxieties raised by rapid social change. Migrants show that identity construction can be specific and contextual, while typically it identifies the dynamics within an individual home country and the wider new social environment. Identity construction or forming does not necessarily occur in a vacuum but is relational in nature and being attained through interaction with others and through different spaces. Valentine and Sporton were able to observe that one identity category may be used to differentiate in specific spaces. Differences in Viewpoints by Tajfel and Yang. Both authors were able to explain that an individual's norms are perceived and are used towards the behavior of the individual when it comes to showing how motivated they are to a task. According to the research test TPB, individual behavioral intentions have the same determinants. Yang and Tajfel believe that measuring academic behaviors related closely to behavioral intentions, which would more accurately be predicting future behaviors. Differences in Viewpoints by Valentine and Sporton. Both authors believe that forced migrants increasingly embody multiple identities in different spaces and times. Migrant minorities also express a preference to being categorized for identity pluralism. This means that identity construction is usually domain specific and contextual. The process of deconstructing someone may entail removing cultural and social values that do not fit that certain individual anymore since they have recategorized to a new social group. Articles that I agree with. I would have to agree with my first article, Attitude, Social Norms, and Perceived Behavioral Control, because it focuses on postgraduates' attitudes towards academic integrity and social norms. The study shows how social identity will be able to mediate the effects of subjective descriptives and how moral norms were able to act on intention to behave with the academic integrity. I also thought it was interesting that there are studies that can show that subjective norms have little influence on our behavioral intentions. Knowledge gained from exercise. The knowledge from this activity will be able to help me by preparing for the final because this activity was able to help me really be able to go through my sources and be able to relate them to my speech. I was also able to agree with an article that I was using to relate to my research and had supportive proof on why I was agreeing with this article. Conclusion. With the two articles that I have researched today, I was able to get two different definitions on social identity. Individuals' awareness that they belong to a certain social group. Individuals' social awareness that they belong to a certain group. An individual's surroundings play an effect on their social norms due to the way that they were raised. When an individual can identify as they wish, they are able to live a more comfortable life and positively give back to their community. Design statement. For this assignment, I first read the directions on how the assignment had to be ordered. I then wrote down the order of the slides onto a notebook in the order I was going to place them in my PowerPoint. Then I started to jot down small things I was going to say. I then found my template and only filled in the headers of each slide first to make sure that I was okay with the way my slides looked off paper. References.